Well, hey guitar learners, welcome back. We're going to take a quick look at the lead parts in King of Kings. So the first lead part that appears, and you can play it at the very beginning of the song, I usually wait until we're a little farther into the song, is to play that little turnaround that happens in the interlude. It happens before one of the choruses, it happens after the chorus. Yeah, it just kind of keeps showing up over and over. So this is on the G string. And the cool part about it being in the key of D is that you can also strike the open D string next to it, and it sounds nice and full when you do that. And so this little lick or riff, if you want to call it that, starts on the 2nd fret of the G string, slides up to the 7th fret, back to the 2nd, then up to the 9th, 11th, 12th, 11, 7, 2. All right, so the walk back down skips over that 9th fret when you're headed there. So let's take a look at how that sounds. Later on in the song, when there's more overdrive, right, it's got a very similar sound to it. And as you can tell, I do like to put a little vibrato on the string. I just like how that sounds. All right, so that's that part. What about in the choruses, right? You can certainly play chord inversions, or when it's a big chorus, you can certainly play power chords or whatever fits your style the best. I like to play the lead parts all the way through, even when I'm the only electric guitarist. I just put on more overdrive for those later choruses. So the way that I like to play it, and I'll put the tab up on the screen too, is to flatten out my index finger on that 7th fret, focusing on the B and the G strings, and every one of the set of like 4 notes begins on the B string. So you just kind of check that in your memory that, all right, I'm going to start on the B string when I play. And that's 4 notes, right? So that takes care of just being right on the beat. That gets played twice during the first part of the chorus. Then you'll put your middle finger down on the 8th fret of the B string and do that same progression, the same 4 notes, right? The same picking for 2 times after that. Then you'll let off of that back to the 7th fret for once. So that's the part that kind of gets a little confusing, and maybe different people play it different ways, right? But I play kind of the first couple notes, and then to get back into the start of the next portion. And then it begins that interlude piece again. So I'll try to put up the accurate tab. I know that sounds like super confusing, and honestly, my notes that I'm literally looking at right this moment are also confusing. So hearing it with the track sometimes is really helpful. So definitely watch that playthrough, kind of see how that looks. The last part of this video that I want to talk about has to do with the bridge. So there are some really cool lead parts in the bridge, and again, you can skip them. Or if you're the only electric guitarist and you'd rather just play big chords, do that. But I did play the lead lines through that. So in verse 3, I guess it's not called the bridge, it's called verse 3, and it has 2 stanzas, or like 2 paragraphs. It's at the end of the first paragraph where they start singing, "For the Lamb had conquered death." That's where I come in on a big open D string. And it just kind of follows the word. words, really, if the vocalist is singing similarly to the track. For the Lamb had conquered death, and the dead rose from their tombs, and the angels stood in awe, for the souls of all who come to the Father are restored. And that takes care of the last phrasing of verse 3. Then it goes into verse 4, which is 2 more paragraphs, and I go to a much bigger sound there because I then start to play on the high E string, and that goes all the way up to the 17th fret. And that gets played 4 times, and then you'll start right back in with that interlude piece that takes you back to the chorus. So once again, with the tab up there, this is what that sounds like. And you'll go through that 4 times. So that's really it. Hopefully the tab is helpful, just kind of seeing it placed out. And definitely check out that playthrough, and good luck out there.